Thank you very much, and good afternoon to each one of you. We had very productive sessions yesterday, today morning also, and we were feeling that the time allocated for this session is very less, because they have so much scope and also to learn and to implement, but we also have a limitation of time, and I hope that these different sessions which were planned indicates that AIU is having very clear-cut vision for taking country's education in a fast mode of transformation, as well as to be in line with our dream of the youths that by 2047 they get more opportunities, and as Madam today rightly said, no white color, no blue color, and green color, no, not even green color, but high paid jobs will be in India. People will come for getting jobs, and our people, our youths will be more like Seth, giving job to others. Not workers, but they will be Seth, the real things. And this will be possible through our quality education, and we will have the flow in Bombay. They say, सर हवा आज इधर की है, तो उसका मतलब ये नहीं, real wind, मतलब traffic is this way. Traffic means हवा, here the word. So the हवा of job, future job will be towards India. That is what we feel now. Because of our diversity, because of our culture, strong rooted culture of India will attract with more paid, satisfaction, peaceful job environment in India. Not taking much time because this is a business session. Our purpose of the business session is also to get ideas so that it can be, AIU can be more dynamic. What has been done, what we are planning, what is going to do will be presented by Dr. Madam Pankaj Mittal, a very dynamic leader, as I said in morning, always with new ideas. And today we were just now discussing that we have to also include the youths and the young teachers in the journey of Viksit Bharat. How to include this has to be a separate thought process, so that they are also not only at higher level of the policy making, but also policy accepting level will make our way easy. So I request Madam to make the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So this business session is a short session. This is not related to the topic we are discussing today. This is basically on what AIU has been doing, what it has done last year, and taking your feedback on what more we can do to improve ourselves. So this is a self-assessment session for us, where we talk to the Vice Chancellors that what else, I mean, if you have any issues which you want us to take up with the government, if you feel that there are some areas where AIU should be exerting more, we'll be welcoming all those suggestions. Before that, I'll give you a short presentation on what we have been doing. Who will change the slides? You are changing the slides? Okay. So as you all know that AIU came into existence as the Inter-University Board on 23rd of March 1925. So we are going to complete 100 years very soon in 2025, within 2 years. And the 2024 session, which will be the AIU annual conference in March 24, will be the beginning of the centenary celebrations. So I would request all of you to please do join the AIU main conference, which will be held in ICFAI, Hyderabad. We have not fixed the date as yet because we are talking to the President of India or the Vice President of India to join. So depending upon their date, we will be announcing the date, but it will be done very soon. So please do attend that session. As a society, we were registered on 29th of September 1967, and then we were named as Association of Indian Universities. Before that, we were known as Inter-University Board of India. Next. So these are some of the stalwarts who have served as the President of AIU. You are seeing Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, who subsequently became the President of India, Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, Dr. Zakir Hussain, Dr. Mudaliar, Dr. Shrimali, he was also the Education Minister, Dr. Hansa Mehta. So these are some of the stalwarts who have been the presidents of AIU, so that tells you the legacy of AIU. And now AIU is the largest university association of the world. So as I told yesterday, even the international associations which have many countries, universities as the members are not as big as AIU. And incidentally, in those international associations also, 1/3 of the members are from India only. So we always tell them that India should have a strong hold in these associations, which right now it is not, because most of the associations are very white. We call them, they are white associations. They give preference to whites. So, but 1/3 of the members of theirs are Indians. So AIU is the second oldest and the world's largest university association of the world. And this is the present membership. Now it is 986, one has increased. So all the universities, whether it is central, state, deemed, private, institutions of national importance, they are the members. And in addition, we have 16 international universities as our members. For example, Kathmandu University is a member which is hosting the North Zone Vice Chancellors Conference. So North Zone Vice Chancellors Conference will be held in February. And the unique nature of that conference is that along with the conference, we are going to hold Indo-Nepal Education Summit, where all the universities can put up their stalls to showcase their activities, their programs, their facilities, their activities, so that if Nepali students want to come to their universities, they know what the university is. And Nepali students form the 25% of the foreign students in India are Nepalis. So that is why this conference is very, very important. Next. So these are the functions and activities of the AIU. This, most of you would be knowing that we work as a think tank on higher education. We bring out many reports. We are working like a bridge between the government and the university. So if universities have to say something to the government, we are there for you as a mouthpiece of the universities. And if the government has to implement anything, for example, NEP, then we assist the government in implementing the policies. We do a lot of consultation, coordination, liaison, capacity building programs. We are doing, for example, leadership development. We just did a round table of newly appointed vice chancellors in Kashmir University. So some of you were there, and it was a very well-received conference. We do a lot of research publications, information dissemination, youth festivals, sports activities, and one of the mandate which has been given to us by the Government of India is equivalence of foreign degrees with the Indian degrees. So when we talk of youth affairs and cultural activities, we do the youth festivals at the zonal, national, Asian, and international level. And around 5 to 10 lakh students participate in these activities. So if your students are not participating, do ensure that they do participate, because these are some of the activities which give them a lot of exposure. When we talk of holistic development, it gives them a lot of exposure. We do also have AIU adventure camps. We do many literary events for the students, which includes quiz, allocution, debates. We do a lot of theater activities, music, dance festivals. There's one AIU moot court competition, in which one university is given this competition, which talks about, which holds a competition for the moot court for various universities. It is also very well recognized. And then also AIU Women Youth Parliament. So last year this was done by the Central University in Sagar. Very, very well received program. Next. So these are some of the glimpses of the cultural activities which take place in various universities of Association of Indian Universities. All the universities do it very, very well. These are the sports activities we do. We hold 128 events at the national and the zonal level. And for the last 3 years, we are also holding the Khelo India University Games. The last was held in Lucknow. She was also there, Dr. Monica. This was held at Babu Banarsi Das University, Lucknow, and BHU, both combined. Prior to that, it was in Jain University, Bangalore, and prior to that in KIT University, Bhubaneswar. And this year, we are going to hold it in Guwahati. So many of your students who are qualifying the zonal rounds and going for the national games, they'll be going to Guwahati for participating in the Khelo India University Games. Our universities won the Asian Universities Chess Championship, and then we are also helping, and then this we are going to increase in a much larger way now, that 44 Olympians from the university sector participated in Tokyo Olympics. But we are not satisfied with our university people participating. We will be satisfied when they bring the gold medals. So the last time in the World University Games, for the first time, we got 26 medals in the World University Games, which were held in Chengdu, China. Many of your university students may have got it. And this 26, last year we got 4, last games we got 4, this time 26. And all the years, something like 20 years if we count, total is 18, combining all the years, but in 1 year we got 26, so that is something very big for us. And now, see, if you see this data, 26 we got this year and 4 we got last year, and prior to that it was very, very less. So this is something which it was spoken to about, this performance in World University Games was spoken to by the Prime Minister of India in Man Ki Baat, and he separately spoke to all these players who went for the World University Games. He also tweeted that, yes, we are very proud of our students who have participated in the World University Games. Next. So apart from this, we do the equivalence of foreign degrees with the Indian degrees, and also the equivalence of PG diploma and the fellow program in non-degree awarding institutions with the masters and the PhD program in the Indian universities. And we are recently given the sort of a power to do the equivalence of school boards within India also. So any new school board which comes in India now will have to take an equivalent certificate from the AIU. This has been given, this power has been given to us by Government of India last year only. Next. So we have now developed an AIU portal in which every member university has a login ID and password. If any of your universities, if you feel that you don't have a login ID and password, please do approach us. We will immediately give you a login ID and password, because this is very important. Right now, 955 universities are registered. So maybe some of the foreign universities are not registered and some of the member universities are not registered. So make sure that you are not one of them. We are now having the online payment gateway. Again, one issue with us is getting the subscription money in time. So we have an online payment gateway. Please pay your subscription in time, because whatever activities we are doing is based on the funds we receive from your subscription money, because the Government of India is funding, but that funding is very small. So please do pay your subscription money in time to the AIU. One important thing again which I will like to mention here is we have many portals like admission portal, equivalence portal. The admission portal means if you fill up the details about the programs you are running in your university on the AIU admission portal, then anybody wanting to say BSc in physics, if he or she writes BSc physics on the AIU portal, down will come the list of the universities which is running BSc physics. So it can increase your admissions also. So please do fill in your information. AIU equivalence portal is again now 100% online. There is a online application, online payment of fee, online downloadable equivalence certificate is issued to the student. So this is totally online, but this seniority portal is one which I was wanting to talk to you. AIU seniority portal talks about the seniority of the vice chancellors in terms of the number of years they have served as vice chancellor. Now this is important for us for many activities. One is to have members on our governing council. Second is to select vice president and president of AIU. And also many a times the government also seeks the names of the senior vice chancellors from AIU. So please do fill in your seniority on the AIU seniority portal, because if you do not fill in, even if you are senior, we will not be able to put you in our committees. So please do fill in your information on AIU seniority portal. And AIU handbook is in progress. Last time I told that AIU handbook is in making. So now it has gone to print. By January or February, we'll be having a AIU handbook in which for every university, what all programs they are running, who are the teachers, what are the colleges, each and every information about a university will be there in the AIU handbook. And this is a very big document in 4 thick volumes, this document will be, and this is a sought after document, even by the foreign universities, that what all universities are there and what all programs they are running, so they don't have to go to individual websites, straight away at one place, and there's a very good index also. So through that back index also they can find out that what the universities in India are doing. Next, this is the admission portal I was talking about, but you have to fill in your information. Unless you fill in your information, it will not help. Next. This is AIU equivalence of foreign degrees and school boards. So all this is now online, computerized. Next. This is again something new which we have done. This is the Indian Network for Internationalization of Higher Education, in which we are trying to help and handhold especially the Tier 2 and Tier 3 universities in promoting internationalization on their campuses. So do become a member of this portal. The membership is right now totally free. You can become a member, and then you will have a lot of hand-holding from AIU in terms of seeking partnerships or having, say, international students office in your university, or even going in for joint degrees, dual degrees, student exchange, faculty exchange. So many activities are being done. A lot of webinars are also being held. Recently there was a webinar by Professor Lakhtakia, and then there was a face-to-face meeting also. So we do keep on arranging many such events which help our member universities to internationalize. So do become a member of Indian Network. In short, we call it INHI, Indian Network for International. And under this INHI only, we have done 2-3 more things. One is we have signed an MOU with Edifi Online, which I was telling yesterday also. Edifi Online helps you to get foreign teachers at, say, 20% of the cost. Foreign teachers, foreign faculty is very, very expensive. So we are coming out with a cluster of universities approach, in which 5 universities who are wanting the similar program, they can be combining together and hire an international professor through Edifi Online, and the cost to each university will be only 20%. For this, we have sent a letter to all of you, and in that letter, we have asked you to send us there's a Google form in which there is a list of courses, something like 100 courses are there. So just tick mark as many courses as you like in which you want to have an international faculty. Then after getting all the information in AIU portal, we will do the matchmaking that which are the 5 universities, especially in the vicinity, which are wanting the same course, and then we will allot a teacher to that course. So please do fill in that information. That letter has already gone to you. So we want you to fill in the information on the Google form on what type of courses you are wanting in your university, and then in the end there is any other. Any other means that if the course you are wanting from a foreign faculty is not in the list, and if you want that some other course should be there, just write the name of the course, and then we'll come out with the course and the course content and the teacher who can be teaching that course. This is AIU payment portal. Next. This is again very important, AIU collaboration portal. This portal we have made again for internationalization, that if your university wants to partner with an international university or even a national university, then in this portal, if your university fills in all the data about the departments in which you want to have collaboration, along with the facilities, faculty, PhD, research students or research PhD teachers, what type of publications are there. So if you fill in all this information, then suppose somebody is wanting to partner in biophysics. So when they write biophysics on the AIU collaboration portal, down will come the list of the universities who have filled in their data that we want to collaborate in the area of biophysics. So it will be very easy for them to find a partner, because when we go to foreign universities, they say it is easy to see in India that what is the NAC rating or NIRF ranking. But if in a particular department we want to collaborate, we are not able to know that which department is good. So this helps you in specifying that these are the departments where you want to collaborate, so they will find it easy to collaborate with you. So please do fill in your data on the AIU collaboration portal too. You must be having an AIU nodal officer in your universities. Please tell the AIU nodal officer that he or she should be on their toes and keep on filling the information, because without information, all these portals are useless. So portals will be helpful only when the information is there, and information has to be put in by all of you. Next. This is again another area which we have taken up, AIU consultancy portal. We do feel that there are many universities who are hiring agents for, say, NAC rating, NIRF ranking, internationalization, SDG implementation, or university collaboration, many areas. So what we have started is AIU consultancy portal. We have a panel of consultants, and we find the demands of the universities, and then we do the matchmaking. So the consultant is allotted to a particular university. So yesterday only we have allotted 17 consultants to 17 universities. So if you need consultancy, this will be authentic consultancy. There won't be any sort of the way agents indulge in malpractices, that type of things will not be there. It will be a general consultancy. So please, you can take advantage of this consultancy portal. Next. These are the zonal meetings. These I told yesterday also that these are the 5 meetings which we are holding this year. This is the 3rd meeting, 2 more are left. One is in Bilaspur and one is in Kathmandu. Next. And the national conference will be held in March or April in Hyderabad, which will start the centenary celebrations of AIU. So please do attend, and the topic is higher education at 2047. Internationalization, I have already spoken about the INHI, Network for Internationalization of Higher Education. We have also signed MOU with American Institute of Indian Studies and SEMCA, and we are doing many projects with them. And we are also having a tie-up with British Council, Australian High Commission, DAD, and Adifi Online also have told education fairs. First, we are going to do in Nepal. Nepal, we cannot call it education fair because education fairs are banned in Nepal. So we are calling it Indo-Nepal Higher Education Summit and combining it with our conference. Otherwise, no one is able to hold education fairs in Nepal. And this will not be a recruitment fair where this Indo-National Nepal Education Summit will basically be to showcase your university to the students. So no recruitment will take place there. But later on, of course, as an after effect, there can be many, many students who can be coming to your university if you participate in this. But in future, we are going to have education fairs in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, some African countries. Initially, these countries from where the foreign students are coming to India, and then we will go to the developed countries also, so that we can have more international students in India. We have signed MOUs with the sister associations in other countries like Mexico University Association, UK Universities Association, Canada University Association, Australia University Association, then Taiwan University Association, Sudanese University Association, and the British Council. The purpose is that if your universities want to collaborate with university in any of these countries, then we have a straight one-to-one dialogue with the association, and the association helps us. Like we two associations help our universities to collaborate. And we are also taking delegations to many such universities. So in time to come, we'll also be circulating information to you that we are taking delegations to these countries. So if you want to come, you can join the delegation. Consultancy, I have told, in Anveshan again is a student research project which we have digitized and which we have internationalized, in the sense that in Anveshan now we are saying that a combination of Indian student and a foreign student, so they will jointly collaborate with each other and submit a research project. So at an early age, they know the sort of purpose and intent and the benefits of having a collaboration. So this is internationalization of Anveshan. We have also opened AADCs, which are academic and administrative development centers. In 19 universities we have opened so far. And in these centers we are running specially the faculty development programs. And the main focus is how to use technology for teaching, learning, research, and governance. Again, these are something which are sought after programs. We are doing some of the national policy on blended learning in collaboration with SEMCA. We have done, we'll be very shortly circulating it to you. Impact of AI on higher education, again, we have come out with a report that will also be circulated to you within, say, next 15, 20 days. We are also building up a project on history of AIU, that what history of AIU for these 100 years, due to the centenary celebrations, we are making this book also. So this again will be a very, very important document. These are some of the research publications we had in the past. 3 books we published in last 3 years: Reimagining Indian Universities, Implementing NEP, Indian Higher Education Heritage. There are many reports and monographs. I'm sure all of you have received the copies of these books, because all this we send free of cost to all our member universities. Next. So these are some of the cover page photographs of the books which we have published and the reports which we have published, which can tell you that yes, you have them, because sometimes you recognize by the cover page. So these are some of the publications. So thank you very much for the patient hearing. And now the floor is open for any suggestion you have for AIU, which AIU should be doing, or any difficulty which you have, which you want us to take up with the Government of India. Thank you.
Excellent work being done under the leadership of our Honorable President, Professor Sharma, and Secretary General, Madam Pankaj. And new initiatives are of great interest to all of us. I have only 2 suggestions to make here in this regard. One is that we all know that NEP is here, and it calls for closing of the affiliating system. And 3 types of institutions, such as research universities, teaching universities, and autonomous colleges, will remain in the higher education gambit. My suggestion, if not now, maybe in future, that AIU may start granting membership to autonomous colleges also.
This suggestion we received earlier also, but when we took it to the AGM, in the AGM, the member universities were of the view that as per NEP, all the institutions will be getting a degree awarding power. So right now, autonomous colleges don't have degree awarding power. So we should wait till they get the degree awarding power. So as soon as they get the degree awarding power, we will be looking into this.
And cluster universities are already covered here.
Yes,
Cluster.
Yes, cluster are already a member of AIU.
Okay, okay. Second suggestion is that way back in 2014, when I was serving Mohanlal Sokhade University, Udaipur, AIU has organized the South Asian Vice Chancellors Conference in 2014 in Udaipur. And it was a very good exercise at that time. About 20 plus Vice Chancellors from SAARC countries other than India participated. Now that post-COVID, we have this facility of hybrid mode also. So my suggestion is that AIU may think up of organizing a SAARC Vice Chancellors Conference in future. Thank you.
Namaskar. Such kind of a conference lately is being held for the 2nd time in this very city of Mumbai. We had the All India Vice Chancellors Conference in the year 2007, when the 3 premier universities of the country, they celebrated their sesquicentenary. And at that time, and it interests me more because when we start narrating our history, we started from the year 1925. And you have also undertaken a we are very soon completing 100 years, and a project you have launched, that the history of AIU. So from that point of view, this piece of information, if you find appropriate, you can very well take into account. The information is in the year 1925, these 3 universities, somehow or other, they should come together, because they have had a different kind of a problems, and therefore the very first meeting was held in Mumbai University under the Rajabet Tower.
All that will come in.
And at that time, because we were also at that time, we were writing the history of Mumbai University, and we were trying to find out as to what is the connection between the AIU and the Mumbai University. One of the great historian of this city, Professor Tikekar, who happened to be the editor of a very renowned newspaper, Lok Satta. It's a child of Express Group. So he was given a task and he was writing a biography of Mumbai University named as Cloisters Pale. In Marathi, Bakar Mumbai Vidyapitaji. Then we lay hand on a piece of paper where the decision was minuted out. Yeah. And at that time, Secretary General was one Professor Dongaonkar. Most probably he was also from Mumbai. So we gave that paper to him. If they find worth when they would be writing the history of AIU, so please make a mention of it. Since we are holding this conference here in the city of Mumbai, if you find that this piece of information useful to you, please incorporate it into the history that you would be writing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Incidentally, you will be happy to know that UGC was formed on the recommendations of AIU.
Yeah.
So the establishment of UGC, it owns its history
Yes.
to AIU.
Yes. So thank you for very good information and presentation on AIU. My suggestion is about on the basis of the NEP requirements where legal education has been not kept for the NEP, but internationalization is there, interdisciplinary education is there. The requirement of 4 years of degree is there, and entry and exit, different policies are there. Now, since this does not apply to Bar Council affiliated, courses, 5 years integrated degree, the problem that we are going to face is first about the PhD programs, because we cannot have any PhD on the basis of 4 years degree. But this is bound to happen because the moment universities will come up with 4 years, and now we'll be going for interdisciplinary PhD programs, PhD in social sciences along with law. 4 years is minimum, right? So this will definitely have an impact on the PhD programs at the law universities. So the second point is that whenever we go for internationalization, the point that we get from foreign universities, I had meeting last month with almost 6 representatives at, in UK about the collaborations. Everywhere there was a discussion about the integrated, for example, LLB degree, which is UG degree, having integration with the PhD degree or having integration with the PG degree. So the offer which they give is that if you have 4 years here in India, 1 year is done in UK university, and you get an integrated master's degree, which is done in other streams, but not possible for law, right? So this 4+1 model, if it can be applied to other degrees, why it cannot be applied to law? So, although I have already drafted a letter, and I'll send a copy of that to you also, to AIU also, and to Niti Aayog and also Bar Council, but I think there is now need to see why I am raising this point is that last month there was an information that in UK, more number of Indian applicants were there in comparison to UK applicants. So when all our students for master's degrees are going there and spending the whole money there, the total exchange is going out, here Indian quality institutions and LUs which can provide such kind of master's degree here, integrated, UG plus PG, why not that money should remain with us? Why our students will have to go there? So I have covered all that in that email that I'm drafting, so I'll be sending, but I thought that you should also make a note of it that if something can be
Please send
done.
it, we will take it up with the Bar
Ji.
Council also.
Ji.
So you're saying instead of 5+1, 4+1.
Yeah, it can be, because anyway, NEP is talking about 4 years degree. And there is always a possibility of having the same kind of credits or same kind of credits in less number of years also. But the money that we are, spending outside, sending our students, that money can be used for Indian higher education system only.
Please send the letter.
Ji.
Yeah.
This and then this. आप इनको दे दो साथ वालों को.
बाजू में, आपके बाजू वाले.
Good afternoon, everybody, I think. Ma'am, excellent presentation. It was very, very nicely laid down, and we could understand completely, and thank you for so many initiatives. My couple of things, ma'am. First of all, I thought there could be, increase in participation by the vice chancellors, because I'm sure there are many more who could not make it here. And so I was wondering if you could think of state chapters as well. And, getting those people from the state responsible to get all the vice chancellors from that particular state. And then I think it can be West Zone and so on, national. So that was one of my suggestions. The other thing was, ma'am, you surely know that NAC has now come out with a medical university, a special medical university kind of accreditization and all those things. So I was thinking if you could do a specifically medical university meeting as well. Not because medical universities are so different, they are a bit different, but I think, what I find is that leadership from medical universities is very less participating in these kind of events. So if it is done that way, then we can get more people from these institutions into the system. The other thing was that we definitely needed some help so far as regulatory bodies are concerned. So for example, National Medical Council or Dental Council of India, Pharmacy Council. I know they are like separate things, but they are kind of related with you as well. So we really require your help because, for example, in outcome-based education, or when we talk of choice-based credit education system, I mean, they are very reluctant to change, to adopt these things. At our own university, and I can say I belong to NIMS University, Jaipur. I was Director Professor of Cardiology at AIMS, New Delhi, and I recently shifted here, I told you. But what I was trying to say was that, at AIMS also we are not participating in these kind of activities. So medical leadership has been very, very dormant or reluctant to participate in these activities. But I feel if we can have something niche for them, and which talks only of their problems, and particularly with the regulatory bodies, ma'am. It's a tough one.
Sure, you send a representation to us, whatever you want to say, we'll take it up.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes. Very good.
एक यहाँ करके फिर उसके बाद आपके पास।
ठीक है।
Madam, Radhakrishnan committee would be submitting report by 31st December. What should be the parameters for the NEC assessment? So last date is 31st December. So do we have submitted anything from AIU? And concern is most of the university in India, they are teaching university. And out of 4,000 marks, 1,000 marks are allocated for the research activity in a present NEC scenario. And what is happening, everybody knows about it. So do we have any kind of a leverage so that at least we can submit something from AIU? Slightly dilution has to happen as far as research component is concerned for a conventional university. Research universities are very less in India. Second point, any industry, if it has to grow, there are 4 parameters. One parameter is a public policy, that is favorable policy. Second parameter is investment from private sector, investment from the public sector, local consumption and export. If we learn from pharma industry, auto industry or IT industry, there is investment, there is a favorable policy, and all industries are export oriented. By 2047, if we are aiming that Indian education can be exported, so right now framework should be created, unless and until we would be exporting our education. I think industry will not grow, education sector will not grow, private investment will not come. So 2 points, our inputs from AIU for Radhakrishnan committee before they close the report. And second, if education has to grow as an industry and India has to play a lead role in exporting our education, certain kind of framework should be decided so that a level playing field is available to the private university. That is it.
Thank you. But this NAC, AIU has already submitted a paper, NAC, we had a committee of around 20 vice chancellors. And when the NAC was announced, NAC was announced, at that time what should be the composition of NAC, what type of things should be there, whether it should be binary, graded, program-wise, course-wise, institution-wise, all that paper has already been submitted to UGC as well as MHRD. So I think That we have, because that Radhakrishnan committee was made after that. So what we can do is we can send the same paper to the Radhakrishnan committee also. And exporting higher education, I know, but the framework is, I mean, AIU is not a regulatory body. So it's an advisory body. So we can be constituting some committee to make a draft framework like the way we have made a draft framework for blended education, national policy on blended education, we have made a draft. But since we are not a regulator, we cannot implement it straight away. We can share it with our universities, we can share it with the government, and we will be sharing it. Similarly, we can prepare a draft for it and then share it with the government. But then the exact framework has to be laid down by the government, maybe the UGC or the Government of India.
Favor can be given to the gift arena, why it cannot be extended to somewhere else?
So maybe in future we'll have many gift cities in many states. Right now it is in Gujarat, maybe in future we'll have more gift cities. So we have to wait. Right now we also have UGC regulation on entry and establishment and operation of foreign universities. So let us see. So you are saying that from AIU we should send a proposal to the government that there should be many gift cities. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, madam.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Thank you for sharing the wonderful developments. Just two quick suggestions. One is if we can have some initiative for localized labor market studies, which can help the board of studies of the different universities. What is happening that most of the BOS are repeating the activities and not doing the task to the level or degree of effectiveness it is required because of duplication of efforts. So if some of the local collaboration can be created where localized labor market need can be assessed for helping in the curriculum, that's one. Second one is regarding the implementation of NEP. If we can have documentation of the case studies, not only the best practices, but what are the challenges, managerial challenges we are facing in managing the change management process, I think that can be helpful for in terms of learning for the other institutions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I? I am Professor Manoj Kumar, Provost, Bhagwan Mahavir University, Surat. And I would also like to congratulate both the persons, especially Pankaj Mittal ma'am, for giving a very detailed profile of AIU, its activities and what all it has in store for the universities. In fact, I have recently taken over as Vice Chancellorship or Provost at Surat, and I've seen certain things which I would like to relate. One is that in terms of number of messages or emails that we have been receiving from the regulatory bodies, मुझे लग रहा है सभी का दर्द यही होगा. And it comes at any time. Sometimes it comes at 9 o'clock in the morning, sometimes at 2 o'clock, sometimes at 5 o'clock, sometimes at 7:30 or 7:40 or 8 p.m. even. So, so much so that in a single month I calculated that there are about 60 to 70 emails from UGC, AICT and all that. It is like breathing down the shoulder of a person, So I'm like a postmaster. So I just do, ये email आया उसको उधर mark करने का, वो आया उधर mark करने का. So I'm working like a postmaster. So and then being a private university, we cannot afford the facility of a specialized cell or extensive cell to take care of what work has been done on that, updating on the progress. I'm sure I would like to have that and at my university, despite the resource constraints being a private university. But in a way, sending too many messages, too many emails, like for example, one email came from the ragging cell. It says that you organize some videos for the lunar mission and click the photos of the students and upload the photos. I don't know what these people are doing, what they want out of us. So that way, it totally disturbs our rhythm of activities. A university is a sacred body. It is a competent body as per the law of the land, and it has to have its own rhythm. So, yeah. So, and autonomy. So, and then many times compulsory video conferencing, not only from UGC, but Gujarat Knowledge Commission, so many bodies are there. So you are being pulled in all the directions, and at the end of the day, you are nowhere. The impact is big zero. So that is one suggestion. At least they can have a time band. Okay.
What is the expectation from AIU?
Expectation is that you can convey to the regulatory bodies that there can be a time band. Let's say 10 to 12 you can, or 10 to 11 you send all your emails, whatever emails you want to send. Nobody is dying out of, sending email at, at 8 o'clock you are sending email and asking for. So protocols may be developed. So that is what I am suggesting ultimately. Protocol. This is one. Second thing which I already discussed, I think yesterday, I have been a management professor. So I am wondering that why can't we can have a class of 90 instead of just 60, AICT is insisting all the time that it can't go beyond 60. So if you can't go beyond 60, then you cannot generate the surpluses, which you can invest in quality infrastructure and paying for the quality faculty. Private universities don't get anything. Mostly they don't get a single pie unless you apply for some projects and all that. So this is where, and you can put the conditionalities that only with amphitheater type infrastructure you can go for 90.
But that
they are too satisfied.
I mean that he had replied to you yesterday, no? About this
Yeah, but then he quoted that I went to that institute and there were 200 students sitting. So I didn't expect that kind of response from a responsible person. I'm too sorry for that. Another suggestion is that if we can have harmonization of forms, different kinds of forms that we have to fill, for example, it may be NAC, it may be All India Survey on Higher Education, if we can have some harmonization or some degree of harmonization so that the same information is not repeated time and again, and you have to involve all the machinery at the college level, department level, or the university level.
AICT is working on one nation, one data concept.
So that would be, yeah, that would be good.
One nation, one data, where the data will be submitted once. It will be used for everybody, whether NIRF, NAC, I mean, whatever is the common data.
If that is happening, then okay, yeah.
That is happening.
And my last suggestion is, if we can have some platform wherein we can share the database of all the faculties, researchers, and so that if I want to invite somebody from Bangalore, for example, so I know that what sort of people are there in particular discipline, and some kind of, instead of simply going for WhatsApp group is there, some other platform where, at least the Vice Chancellors coming under AIU purview can communicate on a regular basis.
So one thing is we have a directory of AIU which gives the emails and phone numbers of all the Vice Chancellors. Plus we are also making one directory which may be of interest to all of you is, we are making one directory of people of Indian origin who are working in foreign universities at senior positions like deans, directors, and vice chancellors. So that directory we are in the process of making, and I'm sure that directory will also help all of you in finding a partner, because it is very easy to talk to an Indian in a foreign country rather to a foreigner. So that directory also we are making, and I hope that will be useful for our members.
Thank you. So I wish you can if you can communicate some of these concerns, protocol for emails, 1 hour time band, they can decide whatever time they decide, that would be okay with us.
That one is the most difficult
But not
task.
any time. Not ATM, no ATM, anytime money, not like thank you so much.
Anytime mail.
I just wanted to,
We have to start the valedictory also, please.
yeah, just, last suggestion that how we can provide services to our members so that they benefit at the same time AIU is able to generate revenue, right? For example, in university news, we have advertisements. So if we can tie up with the InflibNet over there with OneNet, so we can give a link of those advertisements to faculty, and if they want to, some faculty is looking for job, and there is a current advertisement, then it can pop over there, right? And that's how AIU can make some money. Another thing is that eventually, AIU should think of going for accreditation. Should go for accreditation because, when we go for NSC, then there would be many accreditation bodies, and AIU would be a valid candidate for that with credibility, right? And related to that is that there can be other services. For example, organizational health survey. So AIU can collect data from member institutions and share it with them, right? Only their data. But on payment basis, if they want to compare themselves with the sister institutions, then AIU can charge money for that. So we have to think of newer services which AIU can provide to its members. Another thing is that as some universities in Nepal are our members, we should also encourage universities in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka to become our member. If you are able to integrate them, then they benefit and our influence also increases. Thank you.
Can we?
One very important suggestion relating to privacy concerns is there, and it's a legal point here. Every data of student is required for different purposes, and we are asked to share the Aadhaar number of students. And generally we don't take Aadhaar number of students because as a law university, students, they always put a question that why my details are required and why it is going on online portals. So if this point be given, because we are sharing all the details of the students, but why we are asking for Aadhaar? Our students, they don't share Aadhaar number.
Supreme Court said that you cannot take.
But even Bar Council is still asking for it. Yeah. Is still asking for it, and that's creating so much of problem for us because our students, they don't share it, and we also don't want to take it from
PCI
students.
letter you indicate this also.
Yeah. They want us for on the different portals. So this is a serious privacy concern here, so that can also be taken up. Thank you.
Madam, one should, you may consider it as last one, but then I stand by my fellow brethren and my sister because I identify with themselves. I am also a medical science university. And this lately in Pune, Honorable Education Minister came, and the problems that we are facing, the same were raised at that point of time. The problem was this, our very being is because of the University Grants Commissions Act. And we are regulated by the regulatory authorities. And UGC has also accepted that it doesn't matter, we might have given you a birth, but at the same time you would be taken care by someone who is a regulator. Now UGC is time and again sending us circulars, many of the times very different sort of letter, that how far you have complied with the new education policy. Unfortunately, the Bar Council, the legal education and the medical education is not a part of it. He has, because he himself is a doctor, and therefore what we call as a course outcome or the outcome-based everything, the terminology is very different, and at the same time, its spirit is also very different. They call it as a competency. So when we talk in terms of competency, it is not being accepted. So therefore, and the kind of a control, you would find that almost every day we have to stand either online or physically before the inspection of these regulatory authorities. And you can also imagine the kind of an accident. Now they have started taking online attendance of the students. So we as a university, as the degree awarding bodies, but then very much controlled So therefore, the same question was, it was simply an interaction, but then Honorable Minister said I would have to look into whether it is a matter, administrative matter, vis-a-vis coordination, or it is a matter related to policy. And you, as a mother, even of the UGC, AIU is a mother of a UGC. So therefore, with the folded hands we come to you. See, this problem of ours is a very, very typical problem. As if we are thrown in no man's land. Nobody is accepting our.
So what is happening is that we say that in our higher education system, UGC works like a father, regulating, disciplining, sending so many circulars. AIU works really like a mother, hand-holding, taking care. So all of you are complaining about the father to the mother. So why don't you complain directly to the father?
Step-motherly approach is of everyone.
Professor.
Yeah, no, this is in a lighter vein. Why don't AIU organize a consultative meeting on the topic of how to regulate regulators?
Sir, UGC, we call for our this interaction session also. So UGC decides not to participate. So otherwise UGC would be here to answer all your queries. So AICT comes, NAC comes, ICR comes, UGC doesn't come. So when they don't come, how do we interact with them? So how to regulate the regulators is something.
For example, ICMR.
Yes.
Our representative, we have our presence very much there, and our own people. So that could be a best means to, though not
So
regulating
now we
the
will discuss
regulator.
the rest of the things over lunch because we have to start with the valedictory also. I thank all of you for your very, very positive interactions and very good suggestions. And I'll hand over the mic to Professor G.D. Sharma for his closing remarks.
I will not take much time. I will just say, we had just meeting where the chairman, very active, dynamic chairman of UGC we have nowadays. We had a meeting with the Niti Aayog. What he says and what he told, that nowadays we reply within a day. That is his statement. So then I told, there are cases pending 2 years, not replied, particularly related to 12B. So then he said that they can write within 24 hours, our system gives a reply. So I will request you all, kindly send any such things. But we will now also take this, your suggestions. We will write from AIU that this was the suggestion. Kindly depute someone from UGC in our forthcoming meeting, journal meeting as well as annual meeting, so that they can reply. Because we need the regulatory bodies also to give certain very, very justifiable reasons and reply. But before Haki comes, the speed of issuing these regulations has increased. That is the outcome of NEP 2020. Because you can all understand that why this race is there. So anyway, not going into the details because our friend has last time also suggested this, we have to have our own system more stronger, more transparent. As you have seen, now AIU portal has become more transparent. Earlier, when VCs wanted to know their seniority, was not known. Now it is displayed. You can see your seniority as well as what are the different activities taking place. You can see. You can also take any such activity under AIU also. No problem. AIU banner will be there and whatever new idea comes, please take. So that the visibility of our member university becomes more stronger, the idea, the requirement of that region also reaches to the society. That is our purpose. Because ultimately, we have to also follow the same path of using AI and other means little more faster. That is our only purpose, not going slow now. And that is one of the reason that with your all help, participation, so many activities are coming up, particularly for youths. The Honorable PM is so happy that he took this about the 26th medal in his Man Ki Baat. What could not be achieved in 18, 20 years in 1 year. That indicates where youth wants opportunity. So not taking much time, I thank each one of you for giving so many suggestions. So many vibrancy is seen in your suggestions, because in eastern region we had just last month, not even, I think very few suggestions came. So this help us to AIU to formulate as well as to work more for our youths through our universities. And I personally take this opportunity to thank each one of you with great namaskar.
A very warm welcome to the valedictory session of the West Zone Vice Chancellors Meet 2023-24, organized by the Association of Indian Universities and hosted by the Somaiya Vidyavihar University. We have had a very intellectually stimulating deliberation and multiple deliberations in the various technical sessions at this meet. We have had over 150 Vice Chancellors physically present as well as online from various universities from the Western region.
We request the honorable dignitaries to kindly grace the dais. Our chief guest, Ambassador T.P. Srinivasan Sir, President of AIU, Professor G.D. Sharma, Vice Chancellor of SVU, Professor V.N. Rajashekaran Pillai, and Secretary General of AIU, Dr. Mrs. Pankaj Mittal.
Thank you. We now request Professor Shivakumar, Professor of Economics from the KJ Somaiya Institute of Management and Dean of Faculty, Humanities and Social Science of the Somaiya Vidyavihar University, to felicitate our distinguished chief guest for the valedictory, Ambassador T.P. Srinivasan.
We request Professor Shivkumar Sir, Professor of Economics, Dean Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Somaiya Vidyavihar University, to deliver the welcome address.
Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome the dignitaries on the dais, Honorable President, AIU, Professor G.D. Sharma, Secretary General, Professor Mrs. Pankaj Mittal, Ambassador T.P. Srinivasan, our own Vice Chancellor, Professor V.N.R. Pillai, all the dignitaries of the dais, and the Vice Chancellors who are attending in the online mode, my faculty colleagues. Just to give a brief about how we have progressed, the idea of conducting this West Zone Vice Chancellors meet commenced somewhere around middle of August this year. And we started gathering some information, contacting the Vice Chancellors as speakers and as participants in this prestigious conference. Middle of September, the actual work has commenced, and we received excellent support and guidance from the Association of Indian Universities. We had personally visited and taken the inputs from the leadership of the AIU on November 6th. And we are very happy to acknowledge that we have received excellent guidance from all the top leadership of the AIU for the conduct of, we had certain ideas, and these were crystallized and they were enriched through our discussion. The registrar, myself, and PR director, Mr. Tambe, we made a visit to the AIU. We had the two-day conference, which is about to conclude now with the valedictory. I sat through and I learned a lot in terms of how the changing dynamics of both educational field as well as of the economy requires a reorientation. That is the main theme, and there were some 3 sub-themes as to how we gear up to provide the relevant teaching and skill building to our young students. The first session yesterday, after the inaugural session, we had discussions with the participation of NAC Director, Professor G. Kannabiran, ICAR Assistant Director General, Dr. Seema Jaggi, AICT Advisor, Professor R.B. Kakde, who spoke on the various aspects relating to the theme. Technical Session 1, Sustainable Careers Navigating a Dynamic Landscape, how the dynamics of employment are changing. The speakers have deliberated on the types of jobs that are getting created currently as well as in near future, for which how they need to be reskilled, how the students need to be reskilled was the main theme. And lesser employment potential, that is what I heard one of the speakers saying, that earlier, a couple of decades back, the investment used to generate more employment and more new job opportunities, and that is shrinking, which means we can deduct that capital intensity is growing, thereby creating the lesser number of jobs. Also, one of the speakers mentioned that need to convert the IPRs, such as the patents, not by simply taking a rest after it is published in some journals, but they need to be converted into some tangible output and outcome. Technical Session 2, the human-centric skills in a tech-driven world, soft skills and emotional intelligence, the need for that has been deliberated. And today in the morning, we had a long discussion relating to the implementation of NEP, the roles expected of the higher education institutions leadership, the teachers, and also we need to do the best utilization of the proposal that has come up from the Government of India about 3 years back. Now, I take this opportunity to thank the Association of Indian Universities, the SVU management, the SVU leadership, and all the various committee members who have worked. I hope that you have had a good stay in the hotel yesterday and day before. If there are any difficulties or challenges, we apologize for our inability to take care of. We tried to take care of personally all the various intimations, the changes in the schedule and pick up, drop, all these things. We have tried our level best, but it's a new learning experience for us also. I personally believe that we have had a very useful 1.5 day session for the West Zone Vice Chancellors Conference. A report is underway and it will be submitted to the AIU, and the key recommendations they would take up with the government with their inputs. And I thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to speak here. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivkumar sir. I now invite Dr. Hema Badavkar, Associate Professor of the KJ Somaiya College of Education and the convener of the report writing team, to present the report of the meet.
Yeah, good afternoon to one and all. I will be presenting a brief report of West Zone Vice Chancellors Meet. The West Zone Vice Chancellors Meet 23-24 of AIU was organized on the theme Future of Work and Skill Development, which was hosted by SVU, Mumbai, Maharashtra, to hybrid mode during 19 and 20th December 2023. The Chief Guest, Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, Shri Ramesh Bais, expressed warm regards and conveyed his best wishes to participants at the AIU meet, despite being unable to attend in the person due to unforeseen circumstances. The program commenced with an inaugural ceremony held at the auditorium of SVU.
Would you want to use the platform?
Yeah, should I? Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I think now I am visible. Okay. The program commenced with an inaugural ceremony held at auditorium of SVU. Distinguished guests, including vice chancellors from prominent universities of the West Zone region, were warmly welcomed by the organizing committee. Professor Rajashekharan Pillai, the vice chancellor of SVU, delivered the welcome address, expressing gratitude to AIU for hosting the prestigious event at SVU. The felicitation ceremony was conducted with great dignity and respect. The dignitaries were presented with a token of appreciation, including a personalized plaque, shawl, and the floral bouquet. The ceremony symbolized acknowledgement of their significant contribution to AIU and academia. Acknowledging the SVU administration for its meticulous arrangements, Dr. Pankaj Mittal, Secretary General AIU, in her introductory address, explained the robust structure of AIU, which comprises of 965 universities, including 16 overseas universities. Following her talk, Shri Somaiya, Chancellor of SVU, commenced his address by reading a well-wishing message to the attendees from Shri Ramesh Bais, Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, emphasizing the pivotal role of Vice Chancellors in achieving the vision of a developed India. Dr. Vinay Kumar Pathak, Vice President of AIU and Vice Chancellor of CSJMU, Kanpur, paid tribute to mathematician Srinivas Ramanujan during his address, highlighting the Ramanujan's significant contribution to mathematics. Dr. Pathak discussed the transformative impact of the Internet's evolution, emphasizing the current data-centric era. Professor G.D. Sharma, President of AIU and the Vice Chancellor of USTM Meghalaya, emphasized the of Indian civilization and linked it to sustainability. After unveiling the special edition of University News, a newsletter of AIU at the hands of all the dignitaries, finally Professor Nandakumar Gilke, Registrar of SVU, thanked all for making it a great success and setting the tone for the meeting. The next session was on interface with officers from apex bodies. And the major recommendation of this were define and communicate clear jurisdiction boundaries for different educational disciplines to avoid confusion regarding regulatory oversight as seen with the allied sciences not falling under AICTE. In the near future, there is a possibility of making BCA and BBA as integrating courses. Consider integrating courses such as BCA and BBA in alignment with NEP guidelines to allow students to complete the entire curriculum within a defined time frame. Foster interdisciplinary collaboration for offering subjects like music as electives or combined courses, encouraging a multidisciplinary approach in line with NEP objectives. Provide universities with autonomy to introduce diploma courses and issue certificates independently, allowing for diverse educational offerings without mandatory AICTE accreditation for specific programs. Technology and agriculture can be integrated, but the permission must be taken from AICTE if it were an existing engineering college. There is a possibility of an interdisciplinary course BTech in agricultural engineering. Common syllabus for the program to avoid conflict of multiple affiliation, and it can also be facilitate a multi-exit system. As per the recommendations stipulated in the Model Act for Higher Agricultural Educational Institution in India, revised in 2023, has given the scope of concession in land requirement for urban area agricultural universities. Private universities with existing affiliations for the engineering colleges can take advantage for starting diploma courses, and AICTE permission is not required. Next technical session was on sustainable careers, navigating a dynamic work landscape, and this was after the lunch break, and this was chaired by Dr. Hemlata Bagla, VC, HSNC University. The major recommendations of this session are: educational institute should come up with the continuous learning policies so that students become lifelong learners and can adapt to the changing demands of their careers and build sustainable careers. Academicians should upskill themselves according to the changing needs of the society, industry, and students. Next technical session was on human-centered skills in tech-driven world, soft skills and emotional intelligence. And the major recommendations of this session are: integrate empathy, creativity, and inclusion into educational framework, nurturing collaboration and understanding. Establish a curriculum blending technical expertise with ethical values, prompting students to apply skills ethically. Implement activities fostering emotional intelligence through teamwork, empathy, building exercises, and reflective practices. Educate on AI limitations, stressing the importance of human intervention for critical thinking and decision making. Develop multifaceted skills like critical thinking and adaptability through diverse projects and experiential learning. Address technology-related challenges, advocating mindful use of AI and managing cognitive overload for holistic well-being. The cultural event during the AIU conference celebrated the cultural diversity of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Goa, and Rajasthan. The event, a resounding success, not only highlighted the state's heritage, but also fostered unity and appreciation for India's diverse cultural mosaic. Technical session 2 was on implementation of NEP, future of work and education. The session, first, Professor Nitin Karmalkar, Chairman, Steering Committee for NEP, briefed the high number of graduate students, that is 32 lakh enrolling in the state, and informed how Maharashtra is gradually implementing NEP with a focus on skill development and traditional knowledge. Professor Victor Gambhir, Vice Chancellor, JEC RC University, Rajasthan, emphasized hybrid work and education, cognitive skills, critical thinking and vocational training starting in 6th grade to combat the 73% dropout rate. He informed how NEP 2020 is being used as a tool for social upliftment and increased employment opportunities. Recommended to incorporate disruptive technologies such as AI tools or ChatGPT in the education system. Employees should be equipped with AI-empowered tools and machine learning for their efficient working. Srimati Monica Gar, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Social Welfare Department and Minority Welfare and Muslim WAQF, Government of Uttar Pradesh, emphasized on education's transformative power for the national development and explored the influence of AI, that is AI, artificial intelligence, in providing real-time, accurate information, acknowledging both its potential and privacy concerns. Initiated Team UPAI and stress AI's role as an enabler, not an adversary, promoting AI literacy through open educational resources. Made video lectures available on the portal of Uttarakhand Academy of Administration. She briefed on how AI would impact jobs. She highlighted its potential to create 97 million jobs while anticipating the loss of 85 million. Lastly, she advocated for the fusion of arts and technology to aid decision-making across in diverse fields. Dr. Neeraja Gupta, Vice Chancellor, Gujarat University, referred Tatyameva Jayate over Satyameva Jayate to highlight the significance of prevailing of truth and the real issues. He identified 3 key challenges in AI-driven education. First is cautioning against the risk of technology replacing human work. She mentioned humans have a major role to play in all domains. Advocated for recognizing the potential from green-collar jobs amidst blue and white-collar roles, emphasizing their fusion and technology. Critic the relevance on sit-down examination for life skill assessment in 2 credit courses, urging for innovative thinking beyond the conventional methods. Highlighted Gujarat's ecosystem supporting entrepreneurship and startups, emphasizing 5-year follow-up and monitoring system. Stressed the importance of universities expanding education beyond campus boundaries to embrace the end-to-end education system. Professor Gangadhar Shirode, VC, Balaji University, Pune, emphasized on NEP 2020 aims for a positive shift, focusing on character development and the holistic goal for man-making through education. And university should provide diverse opportunities while addressing the significant concerns. And then he highlighted on 6 key components, which are value-based education, craft-center education, job-center education, education for mass self-efficacy and independence, value addition and life balance programs introduced via initiatives like Swayam for skill development. Internship programs for industry, institute-industry interaction have a profound impact on the value system. And he mentioned of Surjan as an open discussion forum and a separate department dedicated to leadership, entrepreneurship programs and startups. At the end, Dr. Pankaj Mittal honored the session chair and speakers with a memento. And after this, the business session for AIU was conducted. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hema. We now request Secretary General AIU, Dr. Mrs. Pankaj Mittal, to address the gathering. Ma'am, please.
A very good afternoon to all of you once again. The chief guest of today's program, Ambassador Shri T.P. Srinivasanji, the Honorable President of AIU, Dr. G.D. Sharma-ji, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Somaiya, Dr. V.N. Rajshekharan Pillai-ji, all the esteemed Vice Chancellors who are here, the speakers of various sessions who are here and who spoke very well today, the faculty members, the organizers, the team AIU and the team Somaiya, which has really worked very hard, the students who are on various duties, the students who performed yesterday, very, very eloquent, very, very nice program which they gave. A very good afternoon to all of you and welcome to the valedictory session of the 1.5-day AIU West Zone Vice Chancellors Conference. The theme of the conference was Future of Work and Skill Development. And during these 2 days, when we spoke to each other, various speakers spoke on various sessions, it was very certain that future is uncertain. So when the future is uncertain, the biggest challenge is how to prepare students for something which is unknown, which is uncertain. So how to do it, that was a challenge. And some of the takeaways which I feel I could see from the 2 days conference is that although the future is uncertain, we can still prepare the students to adapt themselves to take care of that uncertainty. And how we can do it is, first, the suggestions which came, I am telling in, say, 2-3 minutes, I'll be telling all, again, like a bullet train which was just running when she was reading the report. So first and foremost, everybody felt that liberal arts is very, very important, because when we talk of any subject, whether it's science, technology, medical, liberal arts is something which is very, very important, and it should form the part of the curriculum of every discipline in our, whatever programs the universities are running. Second thing, learning never stops. That we know. But nowadays it is more important to learn, relearn, unlearn, relearn. So this cycle of relearning will happen much more faster today. So we should equip our students, because they have to relearn even after going out of the university, even after they finish their programs. So they have to be equipped to have that knack of relearning, and that importance of relearning, that if you don't relearn again and again, you will be out of the system. So relearning is very, very important, so that lifelong learning is there. Third, multi-domain knowledge. Now we cannot survive with one knowledge. For example, suppose we have a civil engineer who knows the civil engineering very well. Suppose he goes to make a dam. So in that dam, he or she has to see whether, like, if the dam leads to some, say, displacement of some humans, so how to take care of them. So he should know the sociology, social sciences, psychology, the impact of dam on the environment. So he has to know something about the environment. So like this, every discipline needs multidisciplinary knowledge. So multi-domain knowledge is very, very important. Fourth, career resilience. You spoke about career resilience, that is adapting to the ever-changing work environment. So when you have to adapt to the ever-changing work environment, what do you have to do? You have to train your students to be adaptive. So how do we do it? By, say, curriculum changes, which can be not only of a specific like, but then general type, so that the students can adapt. We can be talking of experiential learning, we can be talking of continuous learning, we can be talking of many things to the students so that they become adaptable. Dr. Veluka spoke about being human in an AI world. How can we be human in AI world? He says AI has everything, but AI doesn't have a heart. So something which AI doesn't have. Mostly AI has everything which we talk about, AI doesn't have a heart. And he gave a full definition of heart in terms of heart means H for humility, E for empathy, A for adaptability, R for resilience, and T for trust. Sir, I gave another definition of heart in addition to your definition. So I also feel that AI doesn't have heart in terms of H for humanity, E for emotions, A for affection, R for responsibility, and T for tolerance. So any definition which you give, but AI doesn't have a heart, we all have hearts. So we should know that how to make best use of our hearts and how to win over AI. Sixth was that somebody spoke that we cannot prepare future for learners, but we can prepare learners for future. So that is very important, that we prepare learners for future. So our universities and colleges have that responsibility. And also the fact that it's not that only the toppers in a university, the ones who have a very good academic acumen, they will be the best workers or the happiest persons in the life. It depends upon the life skills, it depends upon the soft skills, it depends upon many more things. So we don't have to make our students sort of a person who is going in a fixed direction, sort of jisko hum bolte hain koop manduk. We have to make them abreast with everything. So holistic development of the students is very, very important. Then there was a very good suggestion that we should compile a book which should have case studies from universities on what they have done to promote a human-centric skills in the students. So we will try to make that book, and I think it will be good. And today we talked about the NEP implementation, and today only I realized that in India we are in a unique position where the future is determined by three things. One, which is only unique to India, is NEP. second, COVID, which is world over, and third is AI and machine learning. So these three things are impacting the future of higher education, and we should take care that we use these as an opportunity. And lastly, unskilling and digital dexterity is very important in this VUCA world. We have to promote creative thinking, cognitive skills in our students. So a lot of responsibility lies on the shoulders of our universities, because the demographic dividend which we talk about, the youngsters which we talk about, they are in the university system. So unless universities take it upon themselves to prepare them for a future, the demographic dividend which we are talking of can become a demographic disaster also. So a lot of responsibility lies on the shoulders of the university to ensure that this remains as a dividend, not a disaster. So thank you very much for coming, and thanks to everybody who has made this conference successful, including the attendees, because the participants, if they are not there, all the arrangements are futile. So thanks a lot to everybody for making it successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Madam. We now request the President of the Association of Indian Universities and the Vice Chancellor of University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya, Professor G.D. Sharma, sir, to deliver the presidential address.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to every one of you. In this valedictory function of the West Zone Vice Chancellors Meet on Future of Work and Skill Development, hosted by Somaiya Vidyavihar University, Mumbai, organized by AIU. In this we have chief guest, Honorable Sri T.P. Srinivasanji, former ambassador and permanent representative of India to the UN, former vice chairman, State Higher Education Council, Kerala, Honorable Professor V.N. Rajsekharan Pillaiji, Honorable VC of Somaiya Vidyavihar University, Mumbai, our very dynamic Secretary General, Dr. Mrs. Pankaj Mittal, and very, very honorable members from different university, the honorable Vice Chancellors, our faculty members, officers from Somaiya Vidyavihar, our officers from AIU, and dear students. At the outset, I would like to thank the Honorable Chancellor of this university, Shri Somaiya ji, who is a very dynamic, best example of having industry and education working together as an example for many of us, and also many of the industrialists as well as educationists, that how these two can go together serving the society. I still remember his things that his grandfather used to say, earn with 100 hands and give with 1,000 hands. And his grandfather has not taken even water from this university, that it is only for the society. Once we have such kind of the feeling that we are as educationists for creating the opportunity for our youths, for bringing society and making them competitive through development of their confidence, which used to be there before 1835, when we used to feel proud that whatever we have is best. So this thing has to come out, that whatever we have is best. Swami Vivekananda also said that India is richest in spiritual education, metaphysics. Our pupil can reach any planet without using any physical means, without using any mechanical means. They can measure the distance without using the scale. They can measure the weight without using the gram or anything, and which is now being proved. Whatever even the things like development of light or the other scientific methods, they are now being told by West people that they have taken from the old our Sanskrit literature. That means they have done a lot of work studying our old traditional knowledge, converting them, proving them scientifically. That's what Swamiji said, that what we need in India is to bring technology to our country so that this does not remain as myth. They can be proved. And that's what today it says, NEP 2020, that in a very, very dynamic system of work, which is changing, ever changing, fast changing, only through technology we can meet to go along with this change. Therefore, the youths have to be made technological savvy as well as the teachers. So to make it continuous technological savvy, that means the improvement of our infrastructure, the system of continuous learning, the continuous also incorporation of this learning through the technology. But what today Madam Monica Garg said, that connect this learning to the corporate business or economy, what she says the World Economic Forum. So when we say connect with the economy, our country is richest in resources, natural resources, biological resources, as well as climatic resources. There is no country in the world where you have sea, deepest sea, and the highest hill of Himalaya. No country. No country in this world is having all kinds of the climate in their country. We have so much rich biodiversity, one of the hot spots. So these things have to be now converted in, brought under the education system, so that the technology, particularly AI, can be used. Each region is so rich in food. Today, yesterday, we had food here so different. If we can market it, you will find it. So much money will flow, because in West, what is there? Only one type of routine, one type of clothing, only one type. Here diversity is there. This diversity has to make the future, but we have to retain it. That is more important. That we should not get lost into such things. So the future of education has to incorporate, make a strong base on our own indigenous things, whether it is knowledge, whether it is resources. We should not get flooded with the foreign things and then lose all those things, and then they take our knowledge and bring back to us in the form of their own pattern. So this is the challenge, to protect our knowledge as well as create new jobs using the technology. And today's And yesterday's deliberations have been very, very interactive, very, we can say, opening new areas. That indicates our universities are also very dynamic. They are implementing NEP 2020 in their own way, in their own need of the region. That means they are also taking care of mapping of the need of the region. And once those needs are taken into bringing the solutions, that will create numerous jobs, opportunities for our youths. Today's youth's aspirations are high. Only thing, they have to be put under the activity-oriented teaching learning so that they bring some solutions as per the need, as per their own thoughts. Creativity can only come when we have such kind of learning. So I am sure that these 2 days deliberations have opened new areas, new thought processes, and also created academic linkages. Now you can see that earlier in zonal conferences, very few vice chancellors used to come physically, whereas now the number has gone at least 3 times, as well as this has been extended to all the VCs through blended mode, and therefore AI has been used by AIU to provide opportunity to everyone and also to get feedback so that continuity is maintained in improving our work culture as well as how we can involve and go beyond the boundary so that the knowledge power of Bharat start going to the neighboring country. As Madam rightly said, that we are going to create the first time from AIU the relationship between Nepal and Bharat, how this Bharat knowledge of NEP 2020 can guide even the higher education of Nepal. That is our purpose. And then taking to Bangladesh, taking to Bhutan. So in that way, first taking to neighboring countries and then going beyond the Asian countries to other countries. Already the process has started. I am sure with your all cooperation, with your all suggestions, AIU will be more vibrant and dynamic, and I look forward that you will always be providing new ideas so that can be infused and it can be made inclusive. And I also take this opportunity to thank Professor V.N. Rajsekharan Pillaiji and his whole team who has been so kind to take care of each one of us so nicely, and under his leadership we have got such a good facility, and this meet has been very, very vibrant. I am sure that the West Zone will lead further to provide a better roadmap for the new ways of the work as well as the better improving our continuous efforts for the quality education, particularly through NEP 2020. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir. We will now have the release of the souvenir comprising articles on the main theme and sub-themes of the meet. I invite Shri Ashish Tambe, Director, PR, Somaiya Vidyavihar University, on the dais, please. Thank you. It's my proud privilege to introduce the distinguished chief guest for today's valedictory function, Ambassador T.P. Srinivasan. Sir has had a prolific career in the Indian Foreign Service starting 1967. He undertook various roles globally, serving as a legation secretary in Tokyo and Thimphu, then as a secretary in Moscow, Indian High Commissioner in Suva, Fiji, responsible for multiple South Pacific island nations, as Deputy Permanent Representative of India to the United Nations in New York, Indian High Commissioner in Nairobi, Kenya, and Deputy Ambassador in Washington, D.C. Subsequently, from 2000 to 2004, Sir served as the Indian Ambassador in Vienna for Austria and Slovenia, while concurrently acting as the permanent representative of India to the United Nations and the International Atomic Energy Agency in Vienna, retiring in June 2004. Besides his diplomatic career, Sir has held key roles in Kerala's education sector, leading the Council for Higher Education and serving as an Executive Vice President with the rank of Vice Chancellor. Srinivasan Sir has been contributing as a columnist for various newspapers and magazines and has authored autobiographical works detailing his nearly 4-decade-year diplomatic journey. We are really honored to have you here, sir. We request, sir, to kindly deliver the valedictory address.
The distinguished president of the AIU, Professor G.D. Sharma, the Secretary General of the AIU, Professor Pankaj Mittal, Vice Chancellor of Somaiya University, Dr. V.N. Rajshekharan Pillai, distinguished Vice Chancellors, guests and friends. I'm greatly honored that I've been given this opportunity to deliver a valedictory address. I do not recall having been under a single roof with so many prominent educationists. And that has been an experience that I was enjoying in the last 2 days. But I must confess that I have an identity crisis here. I spent 40 years in diplomacy and 4 years in higher education. And thanks to the generosity of Dr. Rajshekharan Pillai, I am now in a second incarnation of my academic life. As the professor, he calls me an eminent professor in this university. So when I was invited, I decided to come in a listening mode. But surprisingly, I found myself with the responsibility of being the valedictorian. I think this conference has been analyzed at length. And I have 2 challenges. One is to keep you away from hunger, or not to keep you away from hunger. In fact, I was going for lunch thinking that there was a break. But then I remembered that some technique I used recently was used on me. We had a Somaiya conference in Trivandrum, a one-day meeting. And we had a valedictorian, a Portuguese expert. And we did not know whether we should serve tea and then have the valedictory. Then someone said everybody will go away after tea, so there will be nobody at the valedictory. So we decided to have the valedictory without the dinner. But our guest from Portugal did not care about that. He gave a 1-hour lecture on Portuguese literature. But I'm not going to do that. I will just share some thoughts with you. With the introduction that I'm somewhat like a monkey who learned how to bicycle. You know, the monkey thought that he would get better respect from human beings and from monkeys themselves if he had a technique mastered, which monkeys do not have. But after that, when he went to the monkeys to demonstrate his skill, he said, "You are a human being because you are cycling, so don't be here, you go to the human beings." He was very happy that he was promoted. When he went to the human beings, they said, "You are a monkey, what are you doing here?" So I'm a bit like that, because you may wonder what I'm doing here, having been done only diplomatic work around the world for 37 years. I had a brief stint in the Kerala education sector. I must tell you that I seem to be the only one without a PhD here. And I've never been a vice chancellor in my life. But I was made the chairman of the Vice Chancellors Council in Kerala University. So these are all contradictions. But all of us, whether we are in education field or not, have ideas about our education system. And we were able to prepare a roadmap for Kerala's higher education in a very short while, thanks to the other vice chancellors who were in my group. And we very quickly discovered that there were 5 or 6 things we need to do. One was infrastructure. Second was use of technology. I'm talking about 15 years ago. Third was teachers' training. Fourth was autonomy. Fifth was research. And sixth was internationalization. We submitted about 16 reports, but in the highly politicized atmosphere in Kerala, where education is merely an instrument of politicians to gain influence in the community, nothing was implemented. But now, after several years, the same leftist political party has announced that they are going to do many things that we had proposed 15 years ago. But one generation of students lost that opportunity. So I'm not going to elaborate on all that now. But 2 or 3 things I thought I heard and thought that I would like to share some thoughts about some of them. The biggest controversy about education today in Kerala and also outside, and one of the speakers spoke about it, is the exodus of students from India abroad for education. This year, the figure is something like 1 million students will leave India this year. How do we take it? Do we take it as a curse or a blessing? Many people tend to say that this is negative and therefore we ought to do something about it. It is in a way true, because if our education system was better, and if we had the employment opportunities, perhaps so many students would have left, but not have left. But I'm of the view that migration is a process of growth. If you look back at civilizations, you will know that it was always migration which led to enrichment of civilizations. When you leave your home and go out, you will naturally become more creative if you read books or autobiographies of writers and others who have left their home country and written about their lives. You will see that it was a kind of resurgence that took place. Move away from your circumstances and look at the world differently, and that is a sign of growth. Suppose Indian engineers, doctors, nurses, etc. had not gone to Europe in the 60s, the situation in the United States as well as in India would have been very different. If the people from Kerala had not gone to the Gulf in 1973, the Gulf would have been different, Kerala would have been different. And this is not a brain drain, it's a brain overflow, because we have enough brains in our country. And Indians who leave the country do not really leave India alone. It's often said that you can take an Indian out of India, but you cannot take India out of him. The general belief is that Indians believe that their tan, that is the body, must be in the United States. Their man, that is the mind, should be in India. And their dhan, which is the wealth, should be in the Swiss banks. This is a perfect arrangement. So we should not disturb it, because this gives the opportunity of our people to go for greener pastures and make a living which is good. And finally, I'm sure they will at least come back to build their homes in India, or at least to come and look after their parents. So I do not think that this is negative. But what is negative is that one of the reasons for this exodus to begin is the fact that the education system is not adequate. In the world, education has changed in the last 10 years more than at any time in history of 100 years. But we seem to be standing still, and we still look at technology and changes as somewhat detrimental to our own culture and education. We look at AI with great concern. The UN Security Council, which could not meet on the occasion of the pandemic or the occasion of the Russia-Ukraine war, or now during the Palestine-Hamas war, conducted or held an emergency meeting to consider the dangers of AI. Because they said unless it is regulated, AI will destroy the world. But look at all the changes from the first industrial revolution onwards. Do you think AI is a greater danger to modern world today, more than the steam engine was during the industrial revolution? The steam engine, in fact, posed a greater threat to the lifestyle of the people of that century, more than what AI would do, because we have been through several processes of technology. You must have all heard or read Yuval Harari, the Jewish historian of the future. He said at a Davos meeting that the world will not end because of a nuclear war or because of a pandemic. He was talking about it before COVID-19. But because the people will be full of useless human beings as a result of the growth of technology. He called them the refugees of technology. Because he said that if you have Tesla cars which will be driven by itself, What will happen to all the drivers who have lived their whole life driving cars? He cannot operate the computer inside Tesla, so he will become a refugee of technology. But we heard today, I was very happy with the session on artificial intelligence, particularly what I heard from the experience of UP. We have to approach this as a non-scary technological development. In fact, my son, who is an expert on AI in the university in Columbia, he is now going around the world giving a lecture called Non-Scary AI. So I picked up some of these points from him. Because there have always been challenges. Technology was always a challenge to the generation when it was first introduced. But none of them has done any harm. The fear is that with artificial intelligence, the future Hitlers and Mussolinis will be so powerful, they may become like Narakasuras who will go after Shiva to destroy him. But that is not the experience that mankind. AI can be managed in such a way as we have done others, because when we don't look back very much to see what has happened to each of these technologies and how it transformed and how we have forgotten them. The revolutionary technologies, we are not anymore bothered about it because it is already. So we have to see this whole technological development in the historical context of what human beings have gone through. And that will give you a kind of confidence that we can use it for the good of mankind in a very intelligent manner. So the utilization of artificial intelligence as described to us by our senior official from UP, we feel confident that we can do this, and we should not be uncomfortable with it. One other point I wanted to make was that we talk a lot about comprehensive education, liberal education, but we in the universities, tend to look at the universities as a particular entity which is not connected with the world. In the last 2 days of discussions, I noticed that nobody talked about the 2 wars raging in the world, as though you're all happily separated from this crisis. Nobody mentioned it. Nobody mentioned the environmental degradation that is taking place in the world, threatening humanity more than anything else. There was a meeting in Dubai of what is called COP28. How many of you noticed that a new change has taken place? Back in 1995, when COP1 was held in Berlin, and I happened to be the vice chairman of that COP1, when I suggested that we should mention fossil fuels in our final declaration, the OPEC countries walked out of the conference saying that they would not accept any reference. And now 20 years later, in Dubai, which is built on the wealth of oil, 7,000 delegates went there and reached an agreement not on phasing down or phasing out fossil fuels, but at least to accept a transition. And for oil-rich countries to accept a transition away from fossil fuels is a big sacrifice. So, over the years, we have been able to move at least 1 inch towards saving humanity from climate change. So when we discuss education and teaching and AI and everything else, I think we need to have a much more comprehensive outlook. And how is it that we can help in the process of decision making on environmental technologies? One of the most interesting developments in the last few years is the fact that the young people, not just Greta Thunberg, but young people are demanding action from the governments, from the leadership. And how can universities be out of it? I'm not sure suggesting that you are not doing anything about it. But if you take a more comprehensive view of the world, we will find that all these will pass. But our responsibility is to be in the process of decision making, encouraging optimistic thought about what is going on in the world. And finally, the question that we should ask is not only whether our education system is competent enough to deal with our problems, but also to be able to appreciate what has happened in the past. And it will be comfortable if you are willing to think that if our predecessors have been able to manage to survive as human beings in this world, we and our children will also survive. And that spirit, if we are able to inculcate among our students and encourage them to be part of the change that we want, I think the multidisciplinary approach and the comprehensive approach of the new education policy would materialize. But let me say how grateful I am for the enlightenment and the insights I gained by being here for 2 days. And I have to thank the AIU and the university to which I belong for having given me the opportunity. I remember participating in an AIU meeting several years ago in Kochi. And I realized how dynamic that organization has been. It was my experience with the AIU, and I could realize, as the General Secretary said, that she is the mother of the universities. And so it has been a pleasure to be here, to hear you, and to understand, update my understanding of the educational system in India and the effort that all of you are making. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We now invite Dr. G.D. Sharma, President, AIU, to present a token of gratitude from the Association of Indian Universities to our esteemed chief guest, Ambassador T.P. Srinivasan.
We now invite Joint Secretary AIU Dr. Alok K. Mishra, who has been involved in conducting VC meets for all zones, to propose the vote of thanks.
सभी को नमस्कार। आज इस कार्यक्रम की प्रतिष्ठा में हमारे बीच श्रीनिवासन सर यहाँ उपस्थित हैं। सर, आपको आदरपूर्वक हम सब नमस्कार करते हैं और आपको धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करते हैं कि आपने इस समापन समारोह की शोभा को बढ़ाया है। आपकी उपस्थिति से हम लोग जो है वो इस समापन समारोह को एक पूर्ण महसूस कर रहे हैं और राष्ट्र की शिक्षा के उत्थान में सतत रूप से आप माननीय वाइस चांसलर महोदय जिस प्रकार से इस राष्ट्र को आगे ले जाने में लगातार प्रयास कर रहे हैं, आप सामान्य नहीं, आप देश के वो महान लोग हैं। आपकी एक महानता है जिसे ईश्वर ने कहीं चुना है कि आपको इस पद पे आसीन किया है और उस आसीनता के साथ, उस व्यस्तता के साथ में आप यहाँ उपस्थित होकर के इस वेस्ट जोन की जो वाइस चांसलर मीट की गरिमा को बढ़ाया है। हम हृदय से आप सबके लिए बहुत बहुत आभारी हैं और AIU परिवार की तरफ से और पूरी हमारी जो टीम है AIU की, उस सबकी तरफ से जो है यह सादरपूर्वक नमन और नमस्कार। और यह हॉल भी, ये सभागार भी आपके लिए तालियां बजाने के लिए उद्यत हो रहा है। मैं चाहता हूं कि ऐसे ही जो आपकी शुद्धि रूप में जो जिस प्रकार से आपने प्रश्नों के द्वारा, आपने अपने विचारों के द्वारा इस सिर्फ समारोह को झंकृत नहीं किया है, बल्कि अपने अंदर भी कुछ न कुछ अंकित किया कहीं पर और उसे पुष्पित और पल्लवित करने के लिए आप अपने संस्थानों में उसे आगे ले जाएं। मुझे लगता है इस समारोह का जो उद्देश्य है वो कहीं एक जागृति ही नहीं सिर्फ है, बल्कि उसे कृतित्व में ले जाने की कहीं प्रेरणा भी है। आप बहुतों के लिए आदर्श हैं, इसलिए ये जो है समारोह हमेशा बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होता है और हम सब जो है बिना आपके ये संभव नहीं था। तो हम एक बार पुनः मैं कह रहा हूं कि आप हमारे आभार को स्वीकार करो, मैं उसे प्रेषित करता हूं और साथ साथ आपको आमंत्रित भी करता हूं कि आने वाले जो हमारा वार्षिक समारोह है वो जो हैदराबाद में होगा, जल्द ही आपको पत्र और आपको डेट सूचित किए जाएंगे। उसके लिए आप उसको भी अभी से अंकित कर लें और वहां भी सुशोभित करें। समय बहुत कम है, ऑलरेडी हम लोग बहुत विलंब हो चुके हैं और बहुत सारे मालूम है कि इस समारोह को सफल बनाने में बहुत सारे लोगों ने सहयोग रंग के। इस विश्वविद्यालय के जो है माननीय कुलपति महोदय यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं। सर जो है वो मैं बहुत सारे नाम को अंकित नहीं करना चाहूँगा, बट मैं ज़रूर ये कहूँगा कि जिस खुले दिल से माननीय वाइस चांसलर महोदय ने और आपके चांसलर महोदय ने, सुमेय साहब ने जिस प्रकार से खुले दिल से स्वागत किया है, सभी सत्कार किया, ख्याल रखा है, उसके लिए इस पूरे सोमैया परिवार को मैं हृदय से धन्यवाद देता हूं। आप सभी वाकिफ हैं कि यह समारोह इस रूप तक पहुंच पाना जो है उसमें AIU का जो नेतृत्व है, जो आदरणीय जो माननीय प्रेसिडेंट साहब यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं आपके मार्गदर्शन में और माननीय हमारी जो है महासचिव महोदय, सेक्रेटरी जनरल पंकज मित्तल मैडम, ये आपके उस सोच और विचार उस नए प्रकार से किस प्रकार से और बने, किन विषयों पर चर्चा हो, आपने जिस प्रकार के विषय और चिंतन को लगातार आकार दिया है, वो आपके राष्ट्र के निर्माण की एक अंदर की कहीं दृढ़ता है जो हमेशा चिंतन करते हैं किन विषयों पे चिंतन करें। आपने देखा किस प्रकार की नए तरह के पुस्तकों का सृजन हुआ इन सालों में, जो है किस तरह के मोनोग्राम बने, किस योजनाएं बनी हैं। तो मैं, मैडम, आप और सर उपस्थित हैं, मैं बहुत सादरपूर्वक सभी की तरफ से जो है मैं धन्यवाद देता हूं कि आपका यह जो योगदान जो अब है वो सतत राष्ट्र को मिलता रहे। बहुत बहुत सर आभार। ये सिर्फ धन्यवाद का वक्त नहीं जो है, बट मैं ये कहूँगा कि इसमें जैसा कि देखा आपने इस टीम में जो ट्रेवल टीम है यहाँ की है, मैं दिया लिस्ट, लंबी लिस्ट, तो ट्रेवल टीम, यहाँ की फूड टीम, यहाँ के सारे जो लोग हैं, और उससे बड़ी चीज़ जिस इस माइक से हम आवाज़ को सुन पा रहे हैं, यहाँ के रिकॉर्डिंग टीम और यहाँ के सारे सभी जो खड़े हैं लगातार ये 12-12 घंटे खड़े होकर के काम कर रहे हैं। तो हम सब इनको भी हम बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देते हैं कि आप इस सूचनाओं को सिर्फ यही नहीं, देश के अन्य विश्वविद्यालयों में बैठे वाइस चांसलर और उनके कुछ और सपट लोग जो है इस कार्यक्रम को देख रहे हैं, तो उनको आपके माध्यम से पहुंच रहा है। तो इस पूरी मीडिया टीम और उनको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और साथ साथ हम ये कहेंगे कि यहाँ पर जो इस समारोह में अभी जो आपने देखा कि यहाँ के जो रिपोर्टर्स हैं, यहाँ पे जो सारे कार्यक्रम को पीछे स्टेज संभाल रहे हैं, उनको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि उन्होंने बहुत सुचित समय से सब कुछ करने का प्रयास किया है। और देश के अन्य कोनों से बहुत सारे अधिकारी और अन्य राज्यों से भी आए। मैडम गाరు उत्तर प्रदेश से आई हुई हैं, आपका बहुत बहुत आभार। लोगों ने बहुत अच्छा उद्बोधन दिया, बहुत सारे विचार दिए, उन सब के लिए हम सभी आभारी रहेंगे और हम आगे भी आपसे जो है कृतज्ञ रहेंगे कि आप लगातार इस प्रकार सहयोग, समर्थन और अपने रूप पर जो है अपना आशीर्वचन भी बनाए रखें AIU पे, कि वो जब भी कुछ ऐसी चीज़ हो तो आपकी संगठनात्मक जो शक्ति है वो एक नई ऊर्जा और नए संस्कार को भी जन्म देती है। तो मैं इन सबके साथ साथ AIU के एक साथ के कुछ हमारे और अधिकारी जो हमारे सहयोगी यहाँ उपस्थित हैं, विजेंद्र जी हैं हॉल में, तो बिल्कुल बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि वो सतत पीछे जो काम करते थे साइलेंट रूप से जो है लगातार आप लोग कम्युनिकेशन मिलता रहा होगा। रमा पानी मैडम जो किन्हीं कारणों से उपस्थित नहीं है, उनको भी बहुत बहुत आभार। और AIU में पीछे बैठे ऑफिस में बहुत से लोग काम करते हैं जिनको कि शायद आप सभी कहीं मिलते होंगे, करते होंगे, तो बस उन सभी को भी बहुत धन्यवाद। उनमें शिवम दीक्षित जी जो IT वहाँ संभाल रहे हैं, बाकी कि हर जगह स्ट्रीमिंग पहुँचती रहे, शिवम दीक्षित जी वहाँ पर हैं। मैडम की ऑफिस में निशांत गोपाल जी जो लगातार कम्युनिकेशन को वहाँ संभालते, ऐसे ही हमारे स्पोर्ट और एक्टिविटी संभालते हैं वहाँ बलजीत शेखो साहब हैं, अमित पानी साहब हैं जो रिसर्च संभालते हैं, और ऐसे ही रंजना परियार, सब कुछ फाइनेंस से न गुजरे फिर भी दिक्कत होती है, तो सभी का सहयोग रहता है। तो आभार सभी को, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत आभार जो है। और आपको हम इन सब के साथ में जैसा कि कहा कि ये समापन समारोह की चीज़ है, तो माननीय प्रेसिडेंट महोदय की अनुमति से मैं इस समारोह के समापन की घोषणा चाहता हूँ। इसको हम सही पे समाप्त नहीं करते हैं, बट एक नई आगाज की शुरुआत भी करते हैं कि जो आज यहाँ कुछ हुआ है कि कैसे ह्यूमन, मैडम ने बोला कि हार्ट की परिभाषाएं बहुत हो सकती हैं, लेकिन एक हार्ट आप में है, तो आप अपनी परिभाषा बनाएं और अपने विश्वविद्यालयों को नया आकार, नया प्रकार और देश को एक नए विकास तरफ ले जाएं। भारत जागृत हो चुका है और ये उस जागृति मंत्र का भारत सर के जो का सूत्र बना है, उससे पहले ही हमारे सेक्रेटरी जनरल मैडम ने और हमारी टीम ने जो है कि भारत जो है वो 2047 में क्या होगा उसकी योजना की पूरी पीठिका बना दी है। तो आप सहयोगी बने और भारत के उत्कृष्ट बनाने में और उसको शीर्ष बनाने में जो है अपना सर्विस देते रहें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत आभार।
Thank you so much, Dr. Alok. Before we close the valedictory program with the national anthem, we invite all the distinguished vice chancellors to kindly grace the dais with the dignitaries for a group photograph. We'll close with the national anthem post that, and we will proceed for lunch in Gargi Plaza. Yes, we invite all chancellors, vice chancellors, and the guests. we will close the program with the national anthem. Request everybody to please rise.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे